Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Tungsten Wire. What you just watched was Israeli Minister of Defense Itamar Ben-Gvir. More about him later. Passing out sweets after the Knesset, which is Israeli Parliament, passed a very controversial bill. We will be talking about that bill today. So today we will be talking about the death penalty bill that the Israeli government is trying to pass that would allow them to kill Palestinian prisoners. As always, I really appreciate you joining us. If you end up enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're feeling generous, hit that subscribe button. It generally helps us out a lot, especially because apparently we don't post enough. We don't post consistently enough. So they are, not pushing our videos as much. So if you can go ahead, subscribe and like, and even comment, that would be great as well. I'll also have a more detailed piece about this coming soon on our Substack, so make sure to head over to thetungstenwire.com and subscribe for the for free to catch that when it drops. So Israel's Knesset just passed in its first reading one of the most controversial bills that we've seen in a long time. It's a bill that would allow the execution of Palestinian prisoners. Now, it's controversial for a couple reasons, right? Now, according to Israel's public broadcaster Khan, or KAN, out of the 120 members of parliament, 39 voted in favor and 16 voted against. The proposal comes from National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Yes, he's the same Itamar Ben-Gvir who has a criminal record for terrorism. So he is a convicted terrorist and who leads the far right Jewish Power Party. The bill will now head into committee before it comes back for two more readings that it needs to pass to become law. During the debate, so not every single Israeli uh, member, Knesset member, supports this bill, right? During the debate, tensions exploded between Arab lawmakers, mainly Ayman Odeh and Ben-Gvir. It got so heated, it nearly, reports say that it got so heated that it nearly turned into a physical fight right there on the Knesset floor. Now, here's what the bill actually says, right? Anyone who intentionally or through recklessness causes the death of an Israeli citizen motivated by racism, hatred, or intent to harm Israel could face the death penalty. And once that sentence is handed down, it cannot be reduced. But critics say the biggest danger isn't the text, it's how prosecutors could apply it. And that is where things get very alarming. You see, in Israel's military court system, Palestinians are routinely charged with terrorism for actions that would be treated as normal criminal offenses if an Israeli citizen did the exact same thing. For example, throwing a rock at a police vehicle. For Israelis, that's assault or vandalism. For Palestinians, it's terrorism. Under this bill, something like that could lead to execution. Remember, Palestinians are tried in military courts. Israeli civilians are tried in civil courts generally. Two different legal systems for two different populations under one state. That's the definition of apartheid. After the vote, Ben-Gvir wasted no time celebrating. He posted online, Jewish power is making history. We promised and delivered the death penalty law for terrorists has passed its first reading. Human rights organizations immediately condemned the bill. They argue it is designed specifically to target Palestinians and that it strengthens the already deeply discriminatory structures inside Israel's legal and political systems. A legal system that applies different laws to different ethnic or national groups, protecting one while oppressing another, protecting Israelis, oppressing Palestinians, is a hallmark of, you guessed it, apartheid. If this law passes, it will join a long list of policies that international human rights organizations have already documented as evidence of Israel's apartheid system. And all of this is happening while Israel's war genocide on Gaza enters the second year. and while raids across the West Bank intensify. Now, technically, there's a ceasefire, technically, but all that means is instead of killing 140 Palestinians a day, they're killing 40 Palestinians a day. Instead of killing, 30 children a day, they're killing 2 to 3 children a day. And this is true. They have killed, on average, 2 children a day. That's not a ceasefire. Just today, they killed, I believe, 15 fighters. Now, I'm not saying that fighters are civilians. They're not, right? They are open, or they are not open, but valid military targets. They are. Whether you want to, they have a right to resist against the IDF in Israel, because an oppressed people have the right to armed resistance. So I have no problem with that. But they are also valid military targets. The problem is there's a ceasefire. What does ceasefire mean? For Israel, it just means you cease, we fire. Anyways, back to this story. Rights groups say more than 10,000 Palestinians, men, women, and children, are currently held in Israeli prisons. Many face torture, starvation, medical neglect, and far too many have died in custody. It's... Sorry, I got a bit parched there. It's unbelievably obviously an apartheid law, because it only is for Palestinians, right? There's we have a little bit more news about this as well. Let me see if I can find it for you. I think it was on Twitter. Yeah. Let me bring this up on screen. Israel Channel 12 reported that the draft law submitted to the National Security Council would allow the Israel Prison Service to execute convicted Palestinian prisoners by lethal injection within 90 days, targeting those accused of killing Israelis with racial motives. First and foremost, like I said earlier, how do we know what the motive is unless they expressly say it? We're just going to assume all Palestinians are killing Israelis due to racial motives. Anyways, the worst part about this is it's within 90 days, so there's no time for Amnesty International or any other type of human rights organization to mount an appeal. It doesn't allow appeals, by the way, and they'll be killed within 3 months. Only democracy in the Middle East, by the way, guys. It's a barbaric apartheid law, and it needs to be struck down. It absolutely does. Another thing about these laws, right, about these courts, is that they almost always, they're going to be convicted in military court. So first and foremost, already terrible. The fact that they don't, that like a 18-year-old civilian who does something can be convicted of terrorism in military court when he's not part of the military. That's already crazy, right? However, another thing is they have 99.9% conviction rate, and that doesn't really matter because I know I've talked about this before. I have a friend. His name's Abdul Rahman from the West Bank. His land was taken by force under the protection of the IDF by settlers, and they used bulldozers to raise their property to the ground. But his family fought it in court and won. His family was able to prove that they had, I think, 13 generations of family members. That's, hundreds of years of family members living on that. They had the paperwork and whatnot. And they won. And with that paperwork, they got to watch the settlers still bulldoze down their homes under the protection of the IDF and build a winery. They built a winery on their property. And they live, some of the family live in Canada, and the rest are in Texas. It doesn't matter. 99.9% of the time they are convicted, and the 0.1% of the time where something goes in their favor, they still oppressed. They still, whatever happens, there's no winning for Palestinians. But anyways, that's not the point of this, right? I have a lot to say about this, but I can't keep droning on and on and on. So I'll leave that here for you guys. If you found this breakdown valuable and want more independent reporting like this, well, it's not independent reporting, it's just reporting. consider subscribing to the Tungsten Wire. We don't take corporate money, sponsorships, or pay to play deals. Well, we're not big enough, anyways. This work is 100% independent and powered by readers who care about honest, uncompromising journalism. Is probably too strong a word for what we do. Reporting, opinion, opinion pieces. Anyways, subscribing is totally free. It helps us beat the algorithm and brings more eyes to our work. So that's on the tungstenwire.com, and that's here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting the Tungsten Wire. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Anyways, peace be upon you all, and thank you for watching.